Disruption in insurance. If I look at you and me, I would conclude disruption has not arrived yet in insurance. I'm still wearing a tie, you are not anymore. If we look at disruption in insurance, we are facing some really difficult challenges. It starts with a question about our distribution. Historically, we have very physical distribution. The internet, digital, is often seen as a threat. So the key challenge is, how do we bring those two worlds together? Second challenge, pricing. Historically, we have a lot of data on our customers. We don't use it. We don't have the right people to make use of it. And there's new data coming through digital means. So the big challenge is, how do we make our data work? And how do we combine it with data that comes from different sources of the internet? Third challenge, our business model. The business model is traditionally a mutualization. You have different risks, everybody pays an average price, and this enables us to pay for higher risk and also cover lower risks. If, with transparency in the internet, in the digital world, you are going to a phase where everybody knows his or her own risk, we will be faced with a challenge that mutualization is no longer possible, because people who are good risk will demand lower prices, and people who have difficult risk situations will not be able to insure it anymore. Fourth challenge, interaction. Traditionally, insurance is sold, and then you see your customer, in the worst case, never again. How will we make sure that we have more interaction to our customer, that we accompany our customer during its life cycle? Fifth big challenge, data security. We have a lot of personal data, we have very old legacy systems, and there is a very high degree of cyber criminality. How do we make sure that our old systems are stable and secure enough to withstand cybercrime? If you take those 5 challenges and look what has the industry done so far, you see that not much has been addressed. The reason being, we are focusing very much to dealing with our past. You've been reading about scandals in distribution. You've been reading about difficulty on the IT and processing side. So we need to really work on our past to get it done and to be up to standard. On the other hand, we are very heavily involved with regulation. Solvency II is coming, which means more capital, which poses a lot of questions for a very large amount of insurance companies. Do we still exist tomorrow? And thirdly, we've really been working in the digital world on making the old-timers that we have far more efficient, which poses the question, has it been the right investment to make a traditional business model automated and digital, or should we think somewhere else? This is a great place then for new competitors to come in. And we slowly see it coming. Fintech in insurance has been so far a word that I haven't heard very much, but in the last half year to a year, it comes more and more again. And people are thinking about the question, how can we innovate in the space of insurance? The industry needs to make sure that we really get on this wagon and do not lose the pole position in this race to the future. Often we are asked today if we can give content to the new digital ventures. And we are on the brink also of being like the media industries in the 90s, giving content away for free and ending up with a large infrastructure of IT and balance sheet. So the industry here is really at a crossroad, and we really need to think forward, how do we innovate? The innovation, to my mind, is not that we're spending millions into our old IT systems and going from paper to automated. The innovation and the future of insurance will have to lie in a reinvention of the business model. Because if you think there is something fundamentally wrong if you read the press, this is the issue of confidence. The industry is seen as an industry that is paying bills. that is always trying to get the best deal for themselves and not for the customer. So this needs to be addressed, and digital creates a great opportunity to address it. The second question that we need to think about is, how do we intensify the relationship to our customer? Today, as I said earlier, we have relationships, but it's very transaction-oriented, and in the worst case, there is a sale and nothing else again. How can we intensify the contact? How can we use digital means to really get in touch with the customer? How do we make sure that the physical distribution and digital means can work well together to serve the customer? A big question that is not solved. Second question, how can we make our products and processes more customer-friendly and more digital? Our products today are very much thought out of a product and actuary perspective and not enough out of a customer perspective. And to the same degree, our processes are not very customer-friendly. Lots of paper, lots of fine print, and people don't like it. So the question is, how can we move from paper and actuary-driven products to a mobile-first world that is very convenient? Third question, how can we develop our business model more from a I sell a risk coverage to I sell a service? Because when you ask customers what they care about in insurance, it's not their liability cover in motor insurance. It's a service, it's an ecosystem that they want where they are protected. So we need to enlarge our value chain from a typical selling a risk cover to more, which is services and prevention. And this we will not be able to do all by ourselves. We will need to rely on partners that have done this already in other industries. But the insurance industry typically is an industry that focuses very much on doing everything by themselves and not going broader and thinking, how can we partner, how can we do it with other people together? So there is a huge opportunity for the industry to innovate, but there's also a huge opportunity for you, because we will not be able to do it by ourselves. I've personally been trying several stages of innovation. One, I have an innovation team internally. It was killed within weeks. Then I started to innovate outside with my own people. Better, but not sufficient. And third route was to really innovate with entrepreneurs, with outside people who look at the stuff with a fresh view. Personally, this is the only view we can go ahead, and I would really encourage you, contribute to the new thinking in insurance, make sure you do it together with the traditional industry, because you can really combine your genius brains and the reach of the insurance industry, and together it will be a great thing, and we can really work on making the insurance business model a better model for the customer. Thank you.